It's 2022, y'all. So you know I had to come with something new. It might have took me a minute, but I think y'all gonna like this one right here. What's your purpose? Have you found that yet? Do you know who you are, or are you trying to forget where you're from, what you did, who you wrong, what you lost? On the move to have more, trying hard to be a boss. Just remember it's okay to mess up. Try again, change the plan, just don't get complacent. Which means, just don't get stuck. Stuck in the mutter, like I say, stuck in a rut. It may take time, it's okay if you're lost. If you're ensuring you don't wanna be a boss. But until then, just watch me. We'll discuss different things and we can all have a key. Hey, I encourage you every day. And I'm empowering y'all to have your say. Hey, education is the key for every show. So join me Saturday and see where we can go. It's she who found her purpose. Hey, and she's doing you a service. Giving game away for free. And giving y'all a platform just so you can speak. Hey, it's she who found her purpose. And she's doing you a service. Giving game away for free. And giving y'all a platform just so you can speak. Hey, okay. Hey, okay. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Sabbath. Assalamu alaikum. Buenos dias, whatever you want to say, because I do have my Batos Loco shirt on. So we repping everything this morning. So good morning. I hope everybody has been having an amazing day on purpose, because that's what we do. We want to make sure we support positivity. We want to make sure that we're giving everything our all, and we want to make sure that we putting our best foot forward. So let's do that. So, as always, every Saturday, I have to go over the rules and regulations. I know I hate that word, so I don't even want to call it that. But I'm going to just go over a couple of things with y'all, because we want to make sure that we always keep it on the up and up. So, first and foremost, I know that I am a Black woman, but I always like to tell you guys that just because I feel a certain way about something doesn't mean that all Black women feel that way. So this is from my perspective. And that's why I encourage and I invite you guys to come on here and give me your opinions and engage in the conversations so that we can hear from everybody. This is not just about me. This is about all of us. So make sure, once again, when we bring up these topics, whatever you feel, whatever you want to say, go ahead and put it in there. But make sure you're being respectful while doing it. Secondly, anything that I say or anybody that's on my panel that they state, we definitely don't want to offend anyone. So we want to make sure that we put that out there. Once again, these are our opinions. This is a show for not only education, but entertainment. So hopefully we don't offend anyone, but if we do, that's not our intention. We are just on here having conversations. We're being true to ourselves. We're being unapologetically us. So whatever that means, whatever that looks like, that's what you will hear. That's what the engagement and the conversation will be. So once again, we apologize in advance if we do offend anyone, but that's not our intention. So with that being said, I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys these numbers. You know that we have some heavy topics that we talk about each week. This week, we're talking about peer support and the importance of that. But before we do that, I want to make sure that I'm providing you guys with numbers that are beneficial to you. So if you're struggling with any mental health issues and you are in the Los Angeles area, then I want you to take note of this number, 800-854-7771. That's the number to the Los Angeles Department of Mental Health. They'll be able to point you in the right direction if you are in need of services for depression, anxiety, if you need someone for some type of social services. If you're looking for support with your children, this is the number that you would need to reach out to. If you are in the Kern County area and you're looking for support for mental wellness, for once again, depression, anxiety, any type of social support, this is the number for you. And this is Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Services, 800-991-5272. Also, substance use issues. I want to make sure that you guys know if you're struggling with those issues, you can also call either one of these numbers. If you're not watching right now, as you guys know, you can also always refer back to this show. So these numbers will always be readily available to you if you're struggling with any of these issues. If you have a crisis and you don't want to talk to anybody, you might want to text. And that's for, the younger generation or just individuals that are struggling with anything. You can use this crisis text line. Text home to 741-741 and you'll be able to find that support. So once again, make sure that you take note of these numbers if you're struggling with any type of issues, or even if you just need somebody to talk to. These are the numbers that you would reach out to. Also, if you're a part of the LGBTQ plus community, if you are a individual that is a minority and you're looking for support, the Ahmad Institute would be a resource for you in the Los Angeles area. Go to the website www.ahmad.org. And if you don't know, Ahmad means support because they are there to support you. So I think that's all of the plugs that I need to. Oh, finally, I'm sorry, I want to do the suicide helpline because definitely we have been plagued, and I use that word because it seems that it has been spreading over many communities, over many states, and suicide is something that's real. So if you are somebody that is thinking of suicide, or individuals that struggle with suicide, this is the number that you would need to take note for: 800-273-8255. Again, this number is 800-273-8255. And of course, I am a reentry resource as well. So any of these numbers, you can contact these numbers and they will also direct you to a reentry resource if that's what you need. So, let me take a breath because that was a mouthful. I like to make sure that I educate you guys before we go into anything else, because we educate you in the beginning, because after that it might be all entertainment. I don't know. No, it's going to be education as well, but it's going to be a lot of entertainment, because everyone that I bring on here, I like to I first of all have a good rapport with them, so we're able to talk about different topics, whether we agree on them or not, but we're going to crack jokes, we're going to laugh, because that's what we do. We want to enjoy life. We want to make sure that we're allowing you to enjoy whatever you see. And we want to make sure that the information that we're providing is easy to retain. And what I mean by that is that there are a lot of shows out there that have very good information, but the platform that they bring it on may not be a platform that's interesting or that catches your attention. And so it's hard for you to retain the information. So I'm trying to bring something different to the table. And as I always tell you guys, I want to highlight the little people, the people that may not always get the attention that they need and deserve, but they're really bringing a strong message. So this next individual has been on my show before. He was on my show when I was with the other ladies, and he is always willing to lend his voice, his knowledge. He always want to talk. We always tell y'all he want to talk, and he gonna bring y'all something very good. So I want to introduce Mr. Tillman, Mr. T.T. Tillman. Good morning, and thank you for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Oh, I see you repping your brand. So tell us a little bit about that before we get started.
Oh, I'm just repping my brand. I'm actually representing two brands. Lessons Learned, Reentry Dash 030. That's my reentry my page, and my parenting page. Lessons Learned is my parenting page for my businesses, all the businesses I do, from anger management to reentry to uh, uh, unconventional therapy, with parents and teens, and helping people bridge that gap with their kids so they can have a better understanding of this new generation and how to get along better without losing your kids and bring them closer. And Tillman A. Craig is one of my clothing lines. I have two clothing lines, Lessons Learned brand and Tillman A. Craig. And I'm just pushing the line as an entrepreneur and supporting Black businesses like I always do. And
Period.
that's what it
Right.
do.
I appreciate that, and I'm sure all the Black businesses appreciate you, because ain't nothing like support. If we can't support one another, we're not going to ever get ahead. We'll put
That's the
money
key.
into everything else, but we won't put money into each other. So we need to change that
Exactly.
narrative.
So you see, Tillman A. Craig, that's a brand. That's a family name. Just like you got Johnson and Johnson and the builders, all that, Walmart. Them is people's names. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, all that is people's names. And you say,
Right.
oh, why your shoe cost so much? Well, then you'll go spend 5 bands on a Gucci. You'll go spend 20 racks on some feelers or some Louis Vuitton. They ain't too high, and you don't
Right.
even know them people, and they probably Europeans for sure. They
That's
ain't even
true.
black, so I don't want to hear all that. Why you too high?
All right, y'all hear that? You hear it. He said when you see his stuff out there, he don't want to hear why is that too high. And at the end, I'm gonna have to, put your plug in there. Make sure do you because or you can tell them at the end and let them know what your
Yeah,
website is and everything so they can get to your material and they can support you,
most definitely.
because what I've seen is that a lot of Black people do want to support Black businesses nowadays, but you can't be afraid to speak up. You got to ask and tell them what you're doing. Your mouth got to work. You can't be quiet and want some support. And I know you not. I'm not saying that for you, but I'm just saying people in general, because you're not afraid to ask for what you want.
That's key. You got to be able to ask. The old saying, "Closed mouth don't get fed," is absolutely true.
Right, right. So, one of the things, well, I don't want to say one, but something important that I wanted to talk about today is peer support. And the reason that I thought you would be, somebody that was extremely good for the topic is because, first of all, that's what you do in your everyday life. That's what you also do with your business, and I would say you're a consultant because you take things to the next level. Like you said, you help with families, you help with children, you help mothers, you're going to help with anger management, whatever it is. So you're actually a consultant and you
Yes,
can help
indeed.
in all these areas, and that's providing peer support. And I don't believe a lot of people really understand how beneficial support can be, and especially from somebody that can relate. So I wanted to bring you on here because I wanted to talk about that. And I wanted you to kind of just share with us your opinion on it and how you approach the situation.
Well, me personally, being relatable to the situation, and it's like this in the Black culture. Seriously, we're used to toxic relationships. A lot of people in Black culture, we don't know what a healthy relationship is. We don't know what a healthy family is. We don't know what healthy support is. And a lot of us grow up with that attitude to where we've been through so much dysfunctionality in the family, and in our personal relationships and social relationships. We think it's normal. It's not
Right.
normal. And then you got a lot of people say, I don't need nobody. I can do this all myself. And I don't care who don't like it. I don't care who support me. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You
Right.
really do. But on
Right.
the surface, you don't want to seem like that because you don't want to seem needy. But at the same
Yeah.
time, you need people to support you, to big you up, to say, yeah, go ahead and do that show, Linnell. Yeah, go ahead and pursue that business, Linnell. Yeah,
Right.
go ahead and,
I did.
because you need that support. I need that support and say, Terrell, you're gonna do some great things, do this, do that. Yeah, keep
Right.
pushing. that's a push. That's
Right.
not somebody pulling you back. That's not the crabs in the barrel that we used to, or the people smiling in your face, praying for your demise, want to see you fail.
Right. Yes. What
But
you're
there's so
talking
many of us
about,
don't get it. So many of us that don't get it and don't have it.
right.
It's like we don't care, but we really do. We
Yeah.
really do.
What you're talking about is those learned behaviors.
Yes.
We learn from our parents, from the people that, our family, whoever it is, to say we don't care. Or like I can do without that, I got my family. But and nothing is wrong with family. Let me first say that. Because I got a lot of family and I love my family. But you have to understand when family is toxic and you have to learn how to separate. Let me say that. Because of course we're going to have good family and bad family. Everybody does. And I don't want to cut off my family because that's my family. That makes me who I am. That helps me to be a better me because I'm able to study different things and see people in different spaces and at different times. So I appreciate my family that may not be as positive, and maybe I might be that person that can change that by,
Yes.
walking a different light and showing them something different. So I never judge, but what I do is I learn from that, and the way to learn from those things is learn from each situation, So like you said, the crabs in a bucket mentality. Yes, we might know a lot of people or even have family that have that mentality, but it's all about learning from it. Okay, you feel this way, but let me show you something different. Let me love on you, sis. And you might continue to go back to, because what we're used to is reverting back to those negative behaviors or those negative statements and saying, I don't need you, or, this fake, you fake, and you just trying to tell me this because you just hating on me. No, I love you and I'm trying to support you. No, I'm trying to tell you that maybe you should do it a little differently. And also at that same token, I'm also telling you to loosen up because maybe I'm at a time and a space in my career or life where I see some things or I've been through some things that you haven't been through yet, and vice
Mhm.
versa.
Yeah. And it goes back to comfortability as well. And a lot of people, if they haven't been through something or experienced something, they're not comfortable with it. And if
Yeah,
you have, and you're giving them some, some sights and insight, because like I say, past experience, and when you go through something, hindsight is 2020. True that. So if somebody's sitting here telling you some situations that
good
might,
morning.
when you
Sorry.
get when you get it, and when you get there, you can have some insight. Well, man, Linnell did tell me that this is, this might be the situation. And
Right.
being a crisis management specialist, we train for situations so that when you get to that situation, you have a roadmap to try to get you out of that situation or to respond properly, as opposed to just reacting
Right.
without knowing, you know. And this is like in life, a lot of people aren't taught proper etiquette. A lot of people aren't taught how to be loved.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
learning right now of how to receive things. Receive
Ooh,
things. When
you better
people ask
speak
me,
it.
when people ask me, do I need some of this? Hell yeah, I need it now. You know
Right.
what I mean? I'm
Right.
not begging. I'm not begging, but I'm bringing to their attention. Yes, I do need some help because
Right.
everybody needs help. Nobody in the world has accomplished anything by themselves. From the
Yeah.
time you were in that womb, you being dependent on your parent, your mother. Then when you come out the womb, everything around you is supposed to be supportive. But if
Right.
you don't have that support, then you growing up without it, and you don't think it's needed, but it is needed.
Yes. Yes.
So those are the things that a lot of us as Black people in the ghetto didn't really get. You know what I'm saying? And we dealt with the actual dysfunctionality, and it became normalized to us. And then
Right.
as adults, we learned, wow, that wasn't really cool if we're educating ourselves.
If exactly.
Because some adults, they still ignorant as hell. And they
Yeah.
teaching them bad habits or even worse habits
To
than
their
they did
children
today. Exactly. So
and
they're
their
not even setting
grandchildren.
a proper example because they don't know. And like I
Right.
tell people, education and understanding is the best thing in life and the best teachers in life. Because it's not like saying to go to school or go to Harvard to be educated. You can be educated just watching anything. If it's something
Yeah.
that's going to better yourself and help you to know what it is, that's cool. And then, like somebody said, the knowledge. You could be a knowledgeable person, but if you making bad choices, you a knowledgeable buffoon. You's a fool.
That's
You
like
know,
people saying, you so smart, you dumb.
exactly.
We was talking about that in the health
Just because you
chapter.
got knowledge, it don't make you a wise person. The
Exactly.
choices that you make with the knowledge that you acquire makes you wise.
Yes.
Just
Definitely.
because you got knowledge don't make you a wise person. That just means you're a knowledgeable person. But if
Right.
you're not utilizing that knowledge to the best of your ability and in the right way, you a damn fool. Because
Right.
I know this, that, and the other, and I'm not utilizing, but I'm gonna tell you how to utilize. But then I'm going through the bullshit over here. It's like,
Yeah.
well, why you could tell me something, but you can't do it?
Well, let me stop you right there. Well, first I'm gonna say when Nicole said I'm still learning, we never get to a place where we can gain more knowledge. Exactly. Everybody should be able to learn every day. But I do want to say, because I have been at places, and I'm going to say recently, like I'm growing every day. And I always tell people that I talk to, I didn't get to a place where I really started learning until I was 41. I'm 43. So that ain't been a long time. And still I've tripped and fallen. I've come up against walls. But the way that I fix that is once again by learning, by actively learning in those moments, by apologizing or saying, okay, well, I didn't know,
Yes.
by correcting myself, because sometimes we still don't know. And I don't think that I'm ignorant. I just think that I'm still a work in progress for me, myself. And once again, I can only speak for me. I know that what you're talking about is, there are individuals out there that don't want to learn, and so they're kind of stuck. But for me, just speaking for myself, I know I've seen people and I know people, and me being one of them, I am learning every single day, and I know I still fall short. But when I fall short, I am strong enough to say, I apologize, or this is what I've seen. Maybe you weren't at a place, and I'm at a place already where I'm very transparent, but you're not at a place where you're transparent, or you can receive my transparency. So
Yeah.
I need to be receptive of that. I
Yeah.
need to know and recognize my friends when they are still in their trauma, or they're still learning, or they're wherever they're at, especially being in my profession. And I can do that with my clients. But what I'm now learning is to do that with my friends and family. So that's for me. I'm actively, learning to do that. And thank you, Nicole. And she said, that's big. Some people are in denial and don't apologize. And I'm big on that. I'm big on apologizing. I'm big on making sure I right my wrongs. And I'm big on asking. I have my village. And I always tell people that. I think that the biggest struggle is, or what we really need, we always talk about having a village help us raise children. But what we really need is a village to help us become adults and to actively become healthy adults, because that's difficult. It's difficult to change the things that we have learned, especially when it comes from family. And we love our family. And once again, there's nothing wrong with family. But they teach us things sometimes that are not healthy. And we do need to change those things. And it becomes difficult to change those habits or become comfortable with receiving the information that we need to receive. Marvinette said, and by actively listening, you can hear someone but not listen to them. And that's true. It can go in one ear and out the other. So you really need to, like you said, actively listen, hear. I always say you need to hear them and not listen. You
And the
look like
thing,
you want to say
and the one thing about this statement is this too: you could actually listen and hear, but are you responding to what you hear in an appropriate way?
oh,
Because
that
some
goes with
people,
what Nicole said. She said, I'm open with my faults, but I'm learning to not share my experience and just be a listener at times. Go ahead, Terrell.
yeah, because listening is golden, and silence is golden because you can hear and you might can pick up on some things. But the thing about it is, how do you respond to what you heard, or can you respond to what you heard, or is
Yes.
it even necessary to respond to what you're hearing from that person?
Yes.
Sometimes people don't need a feedback. Sometimes people just need to be heard. You know what I mean?
There
And
you
then
go.
if they ask you for your feedback, then you give it. You know what I mean? Or your take on
Right.
it. And then, because I've learned how to take the criticism or the feedback, whatever. And then in a lot of the support groups that I had, you would give one negative and two positives. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you don't always tell a person the negative that they done. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people, that's what we do, because that's what we've been conditioned to do. And we're so used to hearing the negative. That's what we give. That's what we shooting out. But I like what you said, that one negative and the two positives. That's beneficial, and that'll go a long way.
Yeah, and it gets missed. It go over some people's head because just because you're an adult don't mean you're a healthy adult. Like you said, my whole thing is I'm not gonna raise my son like I was raised. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm gonna be there like my dad was never there for me. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna teach my son things so that once he come into contact with certain things, he might not have been through it, but I have, and I'm giving him a little diagram of how he may need to respond in that situation that might save his life.
Right.
As opposed to not telling him because I don't want him to know about that. I don't want him. No, yes, the hell I do. I want him to be aware of certain situations and certain people, so that way, if he ever finds himself in that situation, he can resort back to them. Well, my dad told me if this happened, I need to do this. It's just like a plan. When you do evacuation plan, everybody know the protocol.
Fire drill,
everybody know the protocol. Earthquake drill, fire drill, and now they doing the active shooters and all of that stuff.
Yes.
But if you don't know how to respond, you might get somebody killed or you might drown. You know what I'm saying?
I say this on every show, and I say this because I try to drill it into people. But anything that you do consistently for 30 days, you will turn into a habit. It will come easy to you. So if you do whatever you're trying to learn consistently for 30 days, you'll be able to make it second nature for you. It'll come easy to you. So when that situation comes up, you'll be able to apply these healthy behaviors in those times. But if you never study anything, like Terrell was saying, if you don't train yourself to do it, then you're not going to know. You're going to continue to revert back to those old habits because, of course, you were conditioned to do it when you were younger. You did it for more than 30 days. You probably did it for 13 years, 15 years, maybe 18 years if you were living at home.
And that's something I tell parents when they say, well, my kid don't want to listen. Okay, well, guess what? You created that monster over 18 years or 17 years or 15 years. They're not going to change in one night, even if they get it. It's a practice and learn behavior that takes a cycle, 21 days, 30 days, whatever it be, and consistency to do it in order to change that action. You know what I mean? And that's the whole thing. And yes, it has to be openness and willingness to do it as well. Because if a person been doing something, if a kid been doing something 13, 14 years, 15 years, 16 years, and then when they turn 18, you want them to do something different, it ain't gonna work
like that. It just don't work like that.
You're gonna be keeping that baby boy or that baby girl in the house, and you're gonna be dealing with the bullshit or whatever they send you through. You're gonna be dealing with it because you trained them a certain way. And now that you want them to change and be this and be that, it might not happen. So you're gonna have to deal with the brunt of how you reared that person. And I see it a lot with parents, especially mothers that have protected their kids. And it's cool, but you still have to give your kids some type of responsibility and accountability and to be respectful, period.
Yes.
Because a lot of these kids, they ain't had that ass whooped. They ain't had that ass tapped because the system has taken off the discipline from the parents so that and I'm not saying that every
it's
kid.
It's not only that though. What it is people need to put themselves in other people's shoes. And I say that all the time as well. If you think about what you went through, what you experienced, then you'll know that you want to do something different. You'll know that you don't want to continue with that behavior. But when you don't think about that, and like you said, you're coddling them or you're kind of pushing them to do whatever they're going to do, the reality of it is you made that monster.
Yeah, and I say support your kids, but don't push them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, don't pull them or push them in a direction that they don't want to go. If they want to go in a direction, you help raise them to that level to where they want to go, or push them in that direction and give them the support they need, but don't pull them and don't make them do something they don't want to do. You know what I mean? But at the
Hence the
same
topic.
time,
Hence the
you
topic.
have to be disciplined with your kids too. And it don't always, it's not physical discipline, it's mental. You know what I mean? It's psychological. You know what I mean?
Because, hence the topic of peer support.
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to talk about this, and the reason I brought Terrell on, once again, y'all can see, because first of all, he has a very strong opinion and a very good opinion, but also because support comes in different ways. It can be from the parent, it can be from, a peer, but I feel like peer support is just support. A peer can be viewed in different ways. It doesn't always have to be a friend. It can be a family member. It can be a cousin. It can be the parent.
Co-worker, associate, whatever.
It can be an associate.
Regular.
Exactly. But it's how you view that individual and what you take from the situation. Marvinette said, that's right. No matter how much it may hurt, you have to let folks, even your kids, make their own mistakes. And you do. And supporting them means supporting them in whatever they do. Supporting them through the difficult, but letting them know this is what you can do. This is what you should do, but I'm going to let you make your own mistakes.
And I understand that nobody is perfect.
Yes.
Nobody is beyond mistakes or error. But when it happens, this is another thing that we have real bad. I told your ass not to do that. Well, hell, they didn't bump their head already. They see not to do it.
And I'm guilty.
We've all been guilty. We've all been guilty. You have to train yourself not to do that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not to do it or rephrase the words that you're saying. You know what I mean?
You really do.
Because that's something that comes out because we've been trained to do that. I told your ass. You know what I mean?
That's what we heard. That's what I heard.
Exactly.
So of course I was once again conditioned to, that was the first thing came out my mouth, but I had to learn, okay, I can't say that. Once again, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm still learning every day.
Through my parenting classes and training, we have a things to kind of meet people where they at and understand, be relatable to how they just felt, the emotion and the feeling that they went through. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where you might start off. I see you felt this way, or you may have felt this way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? As opposed to, I told your ass not to do that. Now you fucked up, huh? Now you hurting, huh? And who really wants to be pushed down or judged upon something that they already don't feel good about? You know what I mean? You're gonna just push people away. And I tell parents that all the time. Don't push your child away, because if your child can't come to you and talk to you about the situation, guess what? They're gonna go to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And they're gonna be being reared on somebody else's opinions and thoughts and experiences, and you're gonna push your kid away from you. So it's cool to be a parent, but also be a protector and a supporter of your kids. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna fuck up, period. They're gonna have the mistakes that we still fucking up as adults and as professionals. So we gotta take it too. We gotta take that brunt, the situation and things we might not want to hear, but it's life. That's why it's lessons learned in life.
Yep.
Everything in life is a lesson.
Change your narrative, because you want to change the narrative, saying you different approach.
Yes.
You can still be the same person, but you want to approach things differently. Taking it to that next level of friendships. I know we're talking about kids, but even friendships.
Yeah,
like I said, that transparency or knowing where your friends are at. You can't be so straightforward and so cut and dry and then be like, well, that's just me. They better know me. No, that's just me. No, okay. You want them to be a friend of you too. You want them to listen to you. You want them to be empathetic and sympathetic to your needs when you need them. So you need to do that as well. You can't expect something from someone that you're not giving. And I had to learn that too.
And as well as your profession, it's about what you say and the tone that you're using, and the vernacular that you're using with that person. Because it's not a cookie cutter when you're dealing with people. And when people are in that emotional fragileness and vulnerability, you have to come with a approach that's going to make them comfortable to be receptive of you, to get your help, to receive what you're saying, or even your feedback, or to just know that I'm here to support you, And that's something that a lot of people got bad. Like you said, oh, I'm just like this. This is how I am. Well, guess what? You're going to continue to be like that. And guess what? You're going to push people away from you. Because you don't know how to code switch. You don't know how to be diverse in your approach to deal with people, you know?
But once again, that's why individuals, you know, we talking from both angles and we always do this, but the individual, if you are the support, if you know this, if you see this and you have a friend that's way, support them, talk to them, encourage them to do things differently, because sometimes that's what they may need. Maybe the people that have been approaching them have not been doing it in a way where they've been able to receive it. Once again, they don't want to receive it because they feel attacked. And maybe you're the one that they're going to listen to. Maybe you're the individual that can change how that person interacts and engages and can bring the best out of them, because all it takes is one.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't have that one, you know, and when people run into somebody that has a different perspective, because I get this all the time, man, I ain't never heard nobody say that, or, you know, you a different type of person, you know, it's like, I done been through some shit. So I didn't, you know the negatives of a lot of shit, but I've also educated myself to have a better understanding. You know what I mean? Right. And I don't know it all, and I don't profess to be a know-it-all, but I do know a little bit. You know what I mean? And the little bit that I know, I'm willing to share so that it continue to help me grow and evolve and help other people that I'm around. You know, like I tell people, you don't be around people that don't want to see you win. And if you have to be around some people that don't want to see you win, you know how to carry their ass straight up. You know, because everybody don't want to see you win. You know, some people are praying.
Also, don't use that as a crutch. Don't carry that as a baggage. Continue to move in that space, because everybody's never going to want to see you win. You're not going to have everybody's vote. So that doesn't mean remove yourself. That means to just learn, like Terrell said, learn how to navigate that space a little differently. But once again, for the people like Terrell, for the people like me, if I see somebody that doesn't know how to navigate that space, that might need that little push, that might need that encouragement, it's up to me now to give them that, if I know I can, if I know that they're going to take it from me, because I'm not no better if I can't help them. Terrell not no better if he not speaking up and helping them, especially if we see it. So that's what this show is about. We hitting all angles today. You know, it's not only about, no, I'm just saying, you know, it's about giving it. It's about being able to take it, but it's also about knowing what it is. What does it look like? Exactly. Because a lot of us don't even know what it looked like. And like Terrell started in the beginning, he said, we think people just hating on us. So we like, I don't want you to tell me, I'm going to do this on my own. I don't need no help. I don't need you. They don't really know. They just want to be in my business. No, let that go. Because some people really want to help.
Yeah, that's not the case for everybody. You know, everybody don't mean you harm.
I know it's difficult to know which ones want to help. And I know that's why you in that space, because I've been there. I've been fucked over. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been done wrong. All of us have. Yeah. But just like love, just like anything else, when you're taking chances, you got to still put yourself out there if you really want it. Now, if you're not putting yourself out there, that means you don't want it. That's how I look at it now.
Yeah, and they say surround yourself around like-minded people. And that don't mean everywhere you go is going to be like-minded people. But that just means be conscious of the people that you want to be around, that's going to help you grow and evolve to be better, you know, and to excel in the places that you want to go to, you know. So you might be in a whole circle of people that ain't going nowhere, but that don't mean once you outside of that circle, you can't go mesh in with the people that are going somewhere or trying to help you get to where you're trying to go. You see what I'm saying? Don't be as scared of success. Some people are scared of success. And I hate to see it, but I see it all the time. Some people just content where they at. That's it. They don't want to go to a different level because they're cool where they at. They're at a level of, they feel like I'm successful, I'm cool, nothing else. And that's cool. Guess what? Kudos to you. But I got a higher standard. And I'm on my way here.
I was watching $1 Million Worth of Game, and they were on there talking about income. And the guy on there was like, yeah, you know, when he was working a regular job, because he was, I think he was doing Like sometimes he was doing business, and he said he was making like 15,000 a month. And people was like, "Oh, you making 15,000 a month? You doing it big?" And he said he thought he was doing it big too. And I'm thinking like, okay, that's that's a good little chunk of change to be making every month. You know what I mean? So he's talking, and he's like, now he's making like 50,000, 60,000 a month, maybe more. And he said he doesn't even know how he survived on 15,000 a month. But he didn't realize his potential until he got around people that was making 40, 50, 60,000 a month. He was looking at them and like, well, I'm only making 15. I need to know what y'all doing so I can get on y'all level. But until he got in that space, like you said, until he got around like-minded people or people that was doing it a little better than him or bigger than him, let me not say better, but had, their vision was broader. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got with them, his vision became broader.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was able to reach that potential that they was at. And he was like, I never would have thought. And when I heard that, I was like, damn, I never would have thought. And just to keep it real, once again, we keep it real on here. When I was younger, of course, you ain't making nothing. You might be on the county or whatever the case may be, and you surviving, and you ain't making nothing. Literally, you ain't making nothing, but you surviving. And then you go to working a job and you making 30,000 a year, and you're like, okay, I'm doing something, but you really ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? Then you go to making 40, then you get a raise and you making 40,000 a year. And you're like, I'm okay, all right. And I'm speaking for myself. I gradually elevated in at those levels, probably at those ranges. And I'm not gonna say how much I'm making now, but I make a lot. Like, and I'm like, how did I ever, like, seriously? And I'm not saying that to be funny. I could relate to what he said. Like, I could not even imagine making 60,000 a year. And that's good. I'm not saying that's bad. But I couldn't imagine making 60,000 a year and being able to survive.
I'll be pushing you because I know your potential to be way higher. And some people, it's not about the money.
It's not about the money. It's about the mindset.
It's about the mindset and the potential of where you want to go.
Yes.
And some people, like you say, some people might be on the county. Hey, 30,000. Hey, I'm balling. I'm good.
And ain't nothing wrong with that.
Mindset. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's about the individual's mindset of where they want to be financially, what they're comfortable with. Because some people ain't comfortable with being a boss or a business owner. Some people want to be a worker. Yes. And then you got some people that say they're a boss and they don't know how to be a boss. You know what I mean?
And so, peer support or looking for some type of mentor.
And when it comes to money,
because that's all.
Money, some people haven't had money to experience what it feels like to live on a certain plateau. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And really sustain it and be able to continue to grow, gradually with it. So, and it's like,
hence. That's another thing. I'm sorry. I'm always, I was listening to the radio the other day. I was listening to the radio, and I want to say, and I hope I'm not wrong, but I want to say it was Future. Was talking about, wait, no, it wasn't Future. It was, I don't know who it was.
You say it was an artist.
It was an artist. So this artist was on there talking about how when he got big, I think he said he bought a tiger. He hadn't even bought a house yet. And so they was on the radio laughing, and they was joking with him. They was like, man, you bought a tiger before you bought a house? And he was like, yeah, I ain't never had nothing. I come from the bottom. He was like, and you know how it is when you ain't had nothing, you want to spend a little money first. Then you get the knowledge of, okay, I got that out my system. Now I'm going to build my empire. And once again, I'm like, okay, I can relate. You know what I mean? Because, you get a little bit of money and you like, okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. I want to buy this because you ain't never really had anything. And you don't think about, okay, maybe I need to fix my credit or I need to buy some property. I didn't think about them things. Once again, I can only speak for myself. Personally, those weren't things that I was focused on until I started putting myself in different circles. I started surrounding myself with different people and different with different mindsets. And they started talking about different things, and I started watching different shows, and I'm like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. I never knew that. Nobody ever taught me that because I didn't have that foundation. I didn't have that type of support. So for me, peer support has been very beneficial because it helped me build my career. It helped the individual that's before you guys today. Everybody that I have come in contact with, I appreciate because they helped mold me into the person that I am. So I appreciate peer support.
Now look, I'm gonna go a little deeper than what you just said when you said peer support. Peer support is this: if the people around you don't know shit, they can't teach you shit.
Right.
Right? So, and I'm gonna take it back. This is one of the reasons why slave master didn't want us to read and get educated, because we couldn't push it off around. And then when one person was, guess what? They kept that Negro to teach their kids. They didn't want that Negro to teach the tribe. You know what I mean? Because they didn't want everybody to be smart. So now that we're here in 2022, our great parents and great grandparents and all that, the education level is going up and higher and higher. You know, our grandparents and great grandparents, they wasn't the smartest people and educated people, but they knew how to survive, and they taught us what they know. So now that we're in a different time, education is here. The information age is here. So when you got people that's been taught only just a little bit about finances and economics, they don't understand money. They don't understand how it works. They don't understand how to get it or sustain it or make it grow. You know, and that's why when some people get money, they spend it or go buy this or go buy that because, and guess what? You know, like I said, I've done it. I done been a millionaire in the dope game, so I done spent money on this and that and other. And I know a whole bunch of people that have. You know, you see a lot of these athletes, they get millions and millions of dollars and they be broke 2, 3 years or 5 years later because they didn't know how to deal with money and they didn't have that peer system, support system around them to show them how to make their money grow. Right. You know what I mean? And then you see those athletes and those people and celebrities that did have those people and they got businesses, car lots, property, you know, different TV shows and networks. So that makes a difference. You know what I mean? So to people that's out here listening to the show or gonna see the show, surround yourself around people that will educate you and help you to grow and evolve with your finances and with your education, so where you can have a different mindset and go to a higher level. It's 100 floors on this damn building. Don't stay stuck on the 4th floor unless that's really where you want to be.
Right. And the thing is, one of the key things you said, because I got a couple things I want to pull out of what you said. The first thing is our ancestors taught us how to survive. We don't need to just survive anymore. Like you said, we got educations. We at different levels now. So now we can thrive and be comfortable doing so. You know, so what they taught us, that's all great, but they had to do it while surviving. So you need to tweak a lot of those things that they taught you. So learn what it is that you need to tweak. You can still take that foundation. We're not being disrespectful to your ancestors by tweaking it a little bit. You can still take something from it, but change it. Because we know back then that our people was only surviving. We already know it. Nobody.
And then the black people that were thriving, guess what society did to them? Guess what the powers did? They bombed them and they killed them because they wanted to kill off that whole seed from the root.
Stun it. Exactly. They stunted that.
I.e. Black Wall Street, Oklahoma. But it's been way more cities in America that where black people have flourished and have money, but white people didn't want it. They didn't like it. So guess what? They destroyed it. So that's the things that we have to be positive, and a lot of people don't understand our history and how we had that mentality to be great, and we gonna continue to do that. Now it's just more so with the millennials, they get it more. That's why so many entrepreneur millionaires than ever before now that's black.
Yes,
because they on the internet, they on
minorities. Period.
They doing so much. Exactly, minorities. Period. But I'm just speaking from a culturalistic aspect of people that don't have a homeland, that don't come from their homeland. Because you got A lot of these other minorities, they can go to Spain, they can go to Mexico. We can't go to Africa and find our tribe.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? So this is us right here. I'm a black man in America.
Right.
I'm an American. I'm straight up. And I got white in my genes. I got Indian in my genes. I got ain't no telling what I'm in. I'm mixed with some shit. I'm not a pure African. You know what I'm saying? So I can't go to Africa to get the support that I can get right here in America. You know what I'm saying? And be relatable. You know what I mean? And those are the things that keep us stagnated as well as a people. You know what I mean? Because we always say, oh, they don't do this. You got some white in you too, fool. If you born in America, trust and believe me, you got some white in them genetics because that's the way it is. But so what? So what? Utilize whatever you have to be better and to evolve and to help other people do the same thing.
And that's what I wanted to say, because you said to go and learn more and surround yourself by people that are going to encourage you to, you know, move on with your education or whatever. But what I want to make sure I encourage and I want to highlight is that you always bring it back. Bring it back to your hood. Bring it back to your family. Bring it back to whoever will listen, because planting those seeds is important. And yeah, they might be like, oh, that nigga preaching, but y'all all know, and yes, I did say nigga. Because all y'all know is that one person that y'all be like, ooh, you know, so-and-so, he always coming back here with that knowledge. Remember that fool said such and such, but you remember him. You remember what he said. He came and spit that game and y'all listen. While he was still standing on the corner with y'all, still shooting the shit, still talking about whatever was going on in the streets, he brought it back. And then he got ghost.
Yeah, when he pull up in that exotic car or whatever and jump out with no jewelry but looking like a million, you know, and talking positive, you're going to remember that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to remember that. Because I remember some situations.
And don't take it like he's showing out. Don't take it like
he's bringing back the resources and trying to uplift people that want to be uplifted, because everybody not ready. You know, it didn't take me yesterday to figure this out. You know what I mean? And it didn't take me a year to get it done. You know what I mean? So you can't be down on people if they don't understand or they don't get it yet. But you still have to continue to plant those seeds, because you never know when they're going to grow, when they're going to start sprouting. You know what I mean? You know, so I'm big on that, because when I go back to anywhere where I used to be from, or people that I know that still tread the mud, I'm going to sprinkle some seeds there. You know what I mean? And when they ready, they going to holler or whatever they going to do. That's why I say, here, take my number. Here go my card. Hit me up, because I'm here. You know what I mean? Like I said, I ain't trying to take it to the grave and not give it away, because I got it, and the Creator gave it to me for a reason to share it. And sharing is caring. If I didn't care, I wouldn't give a damn. I keep it all to myself. But I care.
That ain't gonna help nobody. It ain't even gonna help you. You learn more by being able to talk to other people, because every time you talk to somebody about something, you could tweak it a little more. Once again, like Nicole said in the beginning, we need to be learning every day. Don't nobody know everything, you know? So every time you talk about a different subject, every time you teach anger management, I'm sure it's a new way that you tweak things, or a new thing that someone has brought up, or a way that they've done something that you can bring to the next group, you know, so everything is a learning experience.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So I want to thank you for joining me today on this show, talking to me about peer support. Like I said, I feel like it's an extremely important subject. It's getting bigger and bigger because, like you said, a lot of people are either starting businesses, they are furthering their careers, they want to further their education. And I think that it's important for the people who have already been there, who have kind of paved the way, to support them in what they're doing, so they don't get discouraged, so they don't feel like they can't push forward, so they have the knowledge that we didn't have, so it can make it a little easier. Don't hate on them and, oh, they gonna do what I did. I had to go through that. No, they shouldn't have to go through that, because it was hard for you. So make it a little easier for them, because if you really believe in yourself, if you're really at a place where you're happy in your life, then whatever they're gonna do won't affect you. It won't affect your livelihood or your happiness. So that's another thing we need to get away from.
Yeah, and be the change
that you want to see.
And also, don't trust the process. You be the process and make the process work so that you can show it to the next person, you know, because it's like when people are doing things and then the new and they don't and the other people don't relate to it, they can't see your vision. You know what I mean? So they might not see how big you're thinking, or you know, they might think it's inconceivable what you're thinking. But don't let that deter you, because if you got a vision, you can always capture it. You just got to continue to go for it. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody deter you until you can't do it, because they might not have accomplished something, or they don't want to accomplish something. So
or they feel like they can't, because once again, our self-esteem in our community, it really ain't there, even though we be out there shining, portraying like we have this type of, I don't
yeah. It's a lot of people out there in Benzes, Beamers, $100,000 chains and all that, but guess what? They sleeping at their man's house. They sleeping at their girl's house. They shacking up. They live in pillar.
They don't love themselves. They don't know how to love themselves.
It's a facade. It's a falsehood facade that's been ingratiated in us forever, and a lot of us don't know how to break out of it as a people. You know what I'm saying? And therefore, it's up to us to continue to teach this stuff. People say, "Oh, you doing good, and you doing better than somebody." Well, guess what? I'm not doing better than some of these other people. I'm just doing okay for me. And right now, I'm still feel like I'm okay. I'm not stressing,
but I still got a long way to
go. I'm
not
stressing, but I got way more to go. I ain't even scratched the surface. Trust me. Exactly. I ain't even scratched the surface of where I'm finna go. You know what I mean? So, but I know I'm being a part of that process and not just letting the process. It ain't gonna just fall in my lap. I gotta be active and go get it.
Yes.
I gotta go get it. I gotta go acquire the knowledge. I gotta go run into to people that hate and take that negative energy and turn it to positive energy. Because guess what? What you eat don't make me shit. And like I tell people all the time, this is my motherfucking life. So what you going through, you ain't walking my shoes, and I ain't trying to walk in yours. So guess what? Respect this and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna bounce that negative energy off of me. I'm not gonna let nobody worry or stress me or even trigger me. And if I do, I know how to get the fuck away from them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know with me, it's the point of no return. I'm not going to jail. It's not an option for me. So I do negative things to stay out of the way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't go to certain functions. I don't do certain things. I don't go nowhere I need a gun. And sometimes I do go in the hood where it's, you know, I might want to protect myself. But guess what? I walk with that peaceful sword. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? If something happens while I'm there, look, hey, y'all go handle that, because I can't. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying?
Once again, look, peer support. Getting out of those situations, getting out of those old behaviors and looking for something different. Go out there and try to find somebody that you can relate to that can show you something different. There are people out there that are willing to work with you, willing to encourage you, willing to mentor you. There are programs out there. There's a lot of stuff out there.
And they might not look like you.
They might not look like you. So but what you do, yes, don't be afraid. What you do is still go to that program, because I did, and take that knowledge once again and bring it back to your community. Because if it ain't no programs that have people that look like you, maybe you'll be the start of that program. Maybe you'll be the beginning of that movement. So once again, don't be scared. Or if you can't do it, pass that baton, but still try to gain knowledge. Maybe you can work behind the scenes.
Yeah, because I'm finna be the first reentry curriculum person, and I'm finna have this thing nationally. So I don't care what nobody say. Oh, we got this. No, you don't. You ain't got what I got. You ain't got what I'm finna push. I'm finna be the first, and it ain't comparable to no other program. Period. So you know, period. And so guess what? It's gonna snowball uphill when I get it going. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's taking time, but guess what? God's time is perfect.
Mine and anything worth having always take time. I always tell everybody that anything that's worth having, you're gonna work for.
Yep.
Because the stuff that come fast, leave fast.
Yep. So we got another minute.
Yeah. So all right, y'all. I want to thank you guys for joining me this week. I want to thank you, Terrell, for joining me as
Thanks
always.
For having me, as always.
Really appreciate it. You know, and I look forward to.
You like my little big sister that always, you know, bigging up and excelling. You know, we support each other, and that's what it's about. You know.
No problem. You know, I got you.
Okay, how much you get on my nerves sometimes.
Oh, well. All right. Bye. Everybody have an amazing weekend. Be safe this 4th of July weekend. and you enjoy. I'll see you guys later.
Wait a minute. Let me plug real quick.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, if you guys want to contact me, my number is 213-866-8156.
And what services do you provide? Since you
I provide consulting services, reentry services, anger management services. I'm a masseuse. I got the best massages in the world. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the happy endings because, you know, I don't need to do all that. I just do these things. These are healing hands. But yeah, I do a lot of things. I'm a clothes maker. So guess what? God bless you guys. Have a safe and productive 4th of July weekend. God bless. And don't be drinking and driving.
Yes, don't do that. Uber.
There's going to be checkpoints everywhere. There's going to be checkpoints everywhere. And you don't want to mess your life off getting a DUI.
Right. And you guys have an amazing weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, for real.
Thank you, Linnell.